Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most polarizing characters in General Hospital history, Alexis Davis. Whether you love her or loathe her, there's no denying that Alexis has undergone a major transformation over the years, and not everyone is happy about it. From her lack of solid friendships to her inconsistent character arc, many fans feel like Alexis is long overdue for a major shakeup. But is it time for her to take a break from General Hospital altogether? Let's explore the 5 biggest reasons why Alexis Davis might need to go, or at least take a much-needed step back. 1. Nothing about her character makes sense anymore. One of the most frustrating aspects of Alexis Davis in recent years is how disconnected she feels from the rest of the show. Fans have watched her transition from a high-powered, no-nonsense lawyer to a journalist, but even that change feels hollow. Instead of seamlessly integrating into her new career, Alexis often appears in random storylines, dropping in to grab a quote or make a brief appearance before vanishing into the background again. What makes this worse is how she's treated by other characters. Once a respected and influential figure in Port Charles, Alexis now feels like an outsider in almost every major storyline. The lack of meaningful engagement with key players in the town makes her character feel aimless. If the writers don't know what to do with her, is it time to give her a break from the canvas until they figure it out? 2. Alexis has no strong female friendships. One of the biggest hallmarks of a great soap opera character is their relationships, especially their friendships. Yet, when it comes to Alexis, there's a glaring issue. She doesn't really have any solid female friendships in Port Charles. This is especially odd considering her history. Alexis has always been an independent, intelligent woman, and in earlier years, she had meaningful interactions with other strong female characters. However, in recent times, she seems completely isolated. Some fans speculate that this could be due to behind-the-scenes dynamics, with rumors that Nancy Lee Grahn, Alexis' portrayer, isn't always eager to work closely with certain female co-stars. Whether or not those rumors hold weight, the result is the same. Alexis lacks the kind of deep, supportive friendships that make characters well-rounded and relatable. Without those relationships, she feels more like an island, floating disconnected from the rest of Port Charles. 3. Alexis has become a caricature of her former self. There was a time when Alexis Davis was the voice of reason, the sharp, intelligent, pulled-together woman who commanded respect in every room she entered. She was one of the most competent legal minds in Port Charles, always able to hold her own in any situation. But that version of Alexis seems to have faded, replaced by a character that barely resembles who she once was. Instead of being the level-headed, formidable presence she used to be, Alexis often comes across as erratic and lost. The personality quirks that once made her interesting now feel exaggerated to the point of parody. She's no longer the confident, self-assured woman who could stand toe-to-toe with the likes of Sunny Corinthos or Diane Miller. Instead, she's often used as comedic relief or thrown into half-baked subplots that don't do her justice. At what point does a character stop being compelling and start becoming a shadow of their former self? Many fans argue that Alexis has already crossed that line. 4. Nancy Lee Grahn's social media presence is divisive. Of course, part of the controversy surrounding Alexis Davis isn't even about the character herself, it's about her portrayer, Nancy Lee Grahn. Nancy is known for being outspoken on social media, and while she has every right to express her opinions like anyone else, it's clear that her posts have alienated a significant portion of the General Hospital fan base. She doesn't shy away from controversial topics and often engages in debates that can become heated. While some fans appreciate her candor and willingness to speak her mind, others feel that her strong online presence has made it difficult to separate the actress from the character. This has led to a unique issue where people aren't just debating whether Alexis should stay on the show, they're debating whether Nancy's real-life persona has affected how the character is perceived. In a world where social media plays an increasingly large role in how public figures interact with their audiences, Nancy's approach has undeniably shaped how some viewers feel about Alexis. 5. Is Nancy Lee Grahn alienating half of the fan base? One of the biggest criticisms of Nancy Lee Grahn is that she doesn't seem concerned with how her opinions impact her fans. Unlike other actors who try to maintain neutrality to avoid alienating audiences, Nancy has made it clear that she speaks her mind regardless of how it affects her viewership. This attitude has created a divide among General Hospital fans. Some admire her authenticity, while others feel that she is pushing away half the audience. Whether intentional or not, this divide has spilled over into how people view Alexis. If a significant portion of the audience feels disconnected from the actress behind the role, does that hurt the character's longevity on the show? Is it possible for Alexis to remain a key player in Port Charles when so many fans have mixed feelings about the woman who plays her? What's next for Alexis Davis? So, what does the future hold for Alexis Davis? Should she take a break from General Hospital, or is there still hope for the character? For Alexis to stay relevant, the show's writers need to course correct. She needs a purpose, a stronger role in ongoing storylines, and most importantly, real relationships that matter. A meaningful friendship, a powerful career move, or even a dramatic redemption arc could breathe new life into her character. But if the writers aren't willing to invest in Alexis in a way that makes sense, then perhaps it's time for her to step away from Port Charles, at least temporarily. Giving her a well-written exit story, one that allows her to leave on a high note rather than fade into the background, might be the best way to preserve the legacy of a once iconic character. So, what do you guys think? Is it time for Alexis to go, or can she still be saved? Does Nancy Lee Grahn's presence on social media impact how you feel about the character? And what kind of storyline would you like to see for Alexis if she stays? Next, we're diving into one of the most explosive storylines on General Hospital right now, Brooke Lynn Quartermain's long-buried secret. The reveal has rocked her marriage to Harrison Chase, sparked questions about Dante Falconeri's role in her past, and raised the ultimate question, will she track down the child she gave up for adoption? With so much at stake, emotions are running high, and fans are divided over what's coming next. Let's break it all down. A bombshell confession, will it bring Chase and Brooke Lynn closer or tear them apart? Brooke Lynn Quartermain has always been a complicated character, torn between the glitz of the Quartermain name and the genuine love she's found with Harrison Chase. But now, she's facing the most personal challenge of her life. After years of secrecy, she finally confessed to Chase about a past she never wanted to revisit, a night of passion that led to an unplanned pregnancy and a baby she gave up. This is a life-altering revelation, and Chase isn't just sitting on the sidelines. Instead of recoiling in shock, he's stepping up in a way that proves just how much he loves Brooke Lynn. He's not just listening, he's taking action. But will his enthusiasm be what Brooke Lynn needs, or is he rushing headfirst into something she's not ready to face? The weight of her past is suffocating her, and while Chase is ready to chase down the truth, is Brooke Lynn prepared for what they might find? Chase's new mission, is this his way of creating a family with Brooke Lynn? For Chase, this isn't just about uncovering Brooke Lynn's past, it's about their future. He's always been the protector, the fixer, the man who runs toward problems instead of away from them. And in this case, the problem isn't just Brooke Lynn's secret, it's the pain they've both carried. Fans will recall that Chase and Brooke Lynn have faced fertility struggles of their own. With Chase unable to biologically have children, is his eagerness to track down Brooke Lynn's lost child a way of finding a family they thought they'd never have? If Brooke Lynn's child is out there, living a different life, Chase sees an opportunity to bridge the past with the present. But is it that simple? Finding the child may give them a renewed sense of purpose, but it could also open up old wounds. If they truly go down this road, what happens if the child doesn't want to be found? Or worse, what if they do, but the reality of reconnecting isn't what Brooklyn envisioned? Brooklyn is torn. Does she want to find the child or bury the past? While Chase is all in on this mission, Brooklyn is deeply conflicted. For years, she has carried this secret alone, and now that it's out in the open, she's drowning in emotions she never fully processed. On one hand, part of her is curious, where is her child? Are they safe? Happy? Do they look like her? But on the other hand, there's a fear she can't ignore. What if digging into the past causes more harm than good? What if the child has moved on, thriving in a life without her? There's also the guilt. The shame of her decision. Is he letting his own desire for a family blind him to what Brooklyn truly needs? There's also the legal and emotional risks. If they find this child, what happens next? Will Brooklyn want to be a mother? Or will she feel out of place in their life? And what about the adoptive parents? If they've provided a loving home, do Brooklyn and Chase even have the right to step in? These are the questions they need to consider. Because while the idea of finding the child seems romantic in theory, the reality could be far messier. From Sonny Corinthos to Laura Collins, countless characters had motives to take him out. That's why many fans were initially thrilled when it looked like General Hospital was setting up a classic whodunit storyline, a mystery filled with red herrings, shocking twists, and deep-rooted betrayals. But instead of delivering on that promise, the show handed the final blow to Jocelyn Jacks, a character who wasn't even one of Cyrus' biggest adversaries. While her actions were fueled by self-defense, the execution of the scene left many viewers underwhelmed. Some had hoped for a carefully plotted takedown, one that would have truly shaken the foundations of Port Charles. Instead, Cyrus went out in a way that felt more like an afterthought than a climactic moment worthy of his 5-year reign. Was it a missed opportunity? Could General Hospital have handled Cyrus' death in a way that felt more impactful? Let's explore what could have been. A more fitting end? Fans reflect on what Cyrus' demise should have looked like. Many fans have voiced their frustration about how Cyrus' arc ended. Some expected a grand, dramatic showdown, one filled with unexpected betrayals, last-minute revelations, or even a twist where Cyrus managed to escape death once again. Instead, his death felt like a moment of convenience rather than a meticulously built-up event. A fan summed it up perfectly, saying, Cyrus deserved a better ending story. He was a good villain at the beginning, but in the end, he went out with a whimper, like many GH villains over the years. Others pointed out that Jeff Kober, the actor who brilliantly portrayed Cyrus, elevated the character beyond what was originally planned. He took what was supposed to be a 6-month arc and turned it into a multi-year legacy. Shouldn't an actor who brought so much depth to the role have been given a send-off worthy of his performance? One fan stated, "Credit to Jeff Kober. He took a role that was supposed to last 6 months and turned it into 5 years. Sorry to see him go." Thanks, Jeff, it was a pleasure to watch you work. The disappointment many fans feel isn't just about the way Cyrus was eliminated, it's about the wasted potential. The show had a villain with layers, complexity, and staying power, yet he was taken out in an almost routine manner. The missed whodunit that could have changed everything. If we look at General Hospital history, the show has always excelled at crafting riveting murder mysteries. Think of past whodunits, they kept fans engaged for weeks, delivering shocking twists and revealing unexpected culprits. So why didn't the show take this route with Cyrus? With so many characters in Port Charles having a motive, they had the perfect setup for an unforgettable murder mystery. Instead, the plot fizzled out with Jocelyn's single act of violence. One fan expressed their frustration, saying, Jocelyn shooting him was very blah and anticlimactic after they had seemingly set up a whodunit on a silver platter with half the town wanting to see Cyrus dead. That would have been interesting, but this wasn't. Imagine the chaos if Cyrus had been found dead with no clear suspect. The drama that could have unfolded, the finger-pointing, the false leads, the emotional fallout, could have given General Hospital months of content. Instead, the show rushed to the finish line, leaving viewers feeling like something was missing. Was Jocelyn always meant to be the one to kill Cyrus? For many fans, it was obvious from the moment Jocelyn found Poindexter's gun that she would be the one to end Cyrus' reign of terror. As one viewer put it, as soon as Jocelyn found Poindexter's gun, I think many of us knew she'd probably be the one who would put an end to Smiley Cyrus' reign of terror. It was just a question of whether or not she'd deliberately murder him, or if she'd kill him in self-defense. While the argument can be made that Jocelyn's actions made sense from a character standpoint, the way it played out lacked the intensity many expected. If General Hospital was going to have her take on such a pivotal role, why not fully explore the emotional weight of her actions? Sure, Jocelyn has been struggling with the aftermath, but will the show go deep enough into her psychological state? Will we see long-term effects on her character, or will this just be another soap opera death that gets brushed under the rug? What's next for Port Charles after Cyrus' death? With Cyrus now gone, what does his death mean for Port Charles? Is the danger truly over, or did he leave behind loose ends that will come back to haunt certain characters? One fan suggested that the real drama is just beginning, now we know. We'll see if New Jack muddies the waters in a misguided attempt to hide Joss' involvement in Cyrus' death, but any cover-up is only going to make it look like premeditated murder. This raises a critical question: could Jocelyn still face consequences for what she did? If Jack Brennan or another high-ranking official gets involved, could they twist the narrative to make it look like murder instead of self-defense? And what about the people Cyrus left behind? Did he have allies who will seek revenge? If General Hospital plays its cards right, Cyrus' death could be just the beginning of a much larger storyline. Final thoughts: did Cyrus Renaud deserve a better ending? At the end of the day, the discussion around Cyrus' death is less about whether he deserved to die and more about how it was handled. For 5 years, Cyrus Renaud was a character who commanded attention. He was ruthless, cunning, and, at times, even sympathetic, a complex villain that Jeff Kober portrayed masterfully. But his final moments didn't match the larger-than-life presence he had on the show. So, what do you guys think? Was Cyrus' death a missed opportunity? Should General Hospital have gone with a whodunit instead? And do you think Jocelyn will pay the price for what she did?
Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.